His Excellency Chibike and the Chairman of the Bayelsa State Traditional Council.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, I can. Good.
Very pleased we are standing for the opening prayer. Very pleased we are standing for the opening prayer.
From northeast is leading the campaign, and that is why General Rotimi retired is also on our team. Your Royal Highnesses, we come for your blessing. That is very important in this our journey. We have a common slogan among ourselves in the campaign, which is in Hausa, and I will say it before I translate it. Whenever we started this project 2 years ago, and whenever we meet and we see progress in our project, on our movement, we tell ourselves, Zeka Sanche. Zeka Sanche in Hausa means it will happen. So when we went to Port Harcourt to declare our intention to run, he invited me and other insiders to the Thanksgiving. We did the Thanksgiving and we unveiled our intention. We could see the normal crowd that attended it. And when I told the public about this, I said it will happen. The Rivers people say it don't happen. So I want you here to say it don't happen. But they say like
one good thing I know the problem. I govern one of the states of Nigeria. As we are coming, and everything was showing my friends and colleagues how they build houses in Uruguay or in Bayelsa. I told them to build a house in Uruguay, you need to first and foremost reclaim the land. So imagine a poor man, where will he get money to reclaim the land? Just imagine a poor man. I said, if you don't reclaim the land, during the season, the flood will come, and the flood will take away the house. I remember the day I went to visit GP in the plant after the takeover. Everywhere was flooded. Everywhere. There was no place that wasn't flooded. And we saw it out with our eyes then as governor of River State. So I come to you with the full knowledge of the Niger Delta, with one who has governed the Niger Delta. And one thing I said to my friends and colleagues in the car and the bus was that if given opportunity to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then we claim land to the people of Bayelsa own land with the support of the federal government. Your Majesty, the next thing I will say is I'm home and I want your blessing. I want you to talk to our people to support me to be the president of the Federal Republic. And in doing that, recall when I was Speaker of the House of Assembly, I was among the first House of Assembly to pass a law that all traditional rulers will have to participate with 5%, between 5% of the local government funds. The first House of Assembly to pass that law. And they didn't need to speak to me. When the amenable body came to me to talk to me, and I said, that's your entitlement. And Not just because you are traditional leaders, but because you also help us to manage the traditional institutions and manage the whole in different locations where you superintend over. Your Majesty, I'm taking that forward, that if I become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by God's grace and by your grace and the people of Nigeria, I will certainly approve the National Assembly so that we can amend the law and have a place and a role for the traditional institution. The reason is that when you are brought into the Constitution and you're given responsibilities to perform, then I believe that crime will reduce. That's not the solution to crime, but at least it will reduce. For me, the solution to crime is put people, give them responsibility, let them have a source of revenue. Once people have a source of income, and I used to make this joke when I was governor of Rivers State, I said, if one of us were working in Shell, there would be no time to commit crime. Because we will all be going to work. When you come back at 6 p.m., you'll be too tired to go to steal. You will sleep. When you wake up the next morning, you go back to work. If all of us were working, then crime will not be there. If it is there, it will be minimal. So, for me, the solution to crime is to create employment, to create source of revenue for as many Nigerians as the government can afford. And everybody is entitled to that, because if you don't create that source of revenue for them, they will create for themselves. If you don't grow an economy that accommodates, that is inclusive, that takes everybody along, somebody who is not part of that economy will create one for himself. So I understand that's the first step to finding a solution to crime. But the last step to finding a solution to crime in the rural setting is to get the area agencies involved in the governance of the different areas where government presents. So any local government where you find yourself, by the constitutional amendment we will seek from the National Assembly, you will certainly have a role to play. I know Bayelsa. I'm from Yenegua, Bayelsa. I schooled in government secondary school, so you can't like my history. Talking about Barai, young boy, dashing, living in the hostel. There were no fences because no crime. Nobody was coming to chase us out of the hostel. In fact, if there was any threat to our lives, it's this mysterious lady koi that comes at night. You don't know who that lady koi is. Every time people will be screaming that there's a lady koi around, and we have never seen one. But there was no threat to life. There was never anybody pursuing us anywhere. So I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to the people of Yenegua for accommodating me to take me through my secondary education. And today, I'm here as somebody who has been a governor through your training, who has been a speaker through the training I received in Bayelsa, and who has been a minister. I assure you that if we are given that opportunity, there will be changes, there will be progress. You will agree that there is progress in Yenegua, there is progress in Bayelsa. It wasn't like this before. It wasn't. Anytime we had time to come to Yenegua, you wouldn't have seen all these things you've seen, the new houses, government house. So state creation was a good tool to developing our area. And one of the places that needed state creation is Bayelsa. Because if we didn't focus special government funds, federal government funds, it would have been extremely difficult to develop Bayelsa. You need to be a governor in the Delta to know how difficult it is to develop the Delta. Coming from that Amasama Road, from the airport, I counted not less than 6 to 7 bridges. There are states you go, no bridge at all. Just construct and go. Imagine the difference in cost in having to put a bridge. And that's why I was showing to my friends that even in constructing a road, you must raise the level of that road by reclaiming land. It's difficult. And so if given the opportunity to govern, I assure you that it will be of special interest to the federal government. Thank you and God bless.
And you have gone straight to quickly establish your reason for coming here today. You have a candidate, you have an aspirant who has come over to do the needful so that he will become the candidate of APC and the president of Nigeria. And as a title holder, you felt you should not just surreptitiously go and see his party members and vanish. You felt you should come here and face us and get our blessings and go honorably to do his job and return as a candidate of the APC to see us again. And then on that day, go to Eco Square and take it. The reason I'm sounding this way is you are our son. You have established here that you were trained by us, particularly in Bayelsa State. You lived here, schooled here, and so you have a product. Everything you are today is because we handled you well. And you are smart to have come here to be handled again so that you will get the results the way we have. I have never seen a resume or a profile of this type. 2-time speaker, 2-time governor, 2-time minister, 2-time everything, and 2-time. That's what you're waiting for. But to become 2-time president, it means that those of you who are working with him must give him the needed support. And that sometimes politics is one kind. But when you see a good product, you should not do one kind. You should follow it all the way through. And I'm very impressed with the spread that you have. I can see good things already happening. You are from the Niger Delta, there's no doubt. And I can tell you that I've known you forever. And when you became governor, I admired the way you faced the security challenges in Rivers State at that time, and actually brought everything to full control. Nigeria today is facing security challenges. For those of us here, I can tell you that a few days ago I was telling people that it has never been this bad. It's bad. Even during the war, my mother used to still go and drink. So she could go by canoe to nature and everywhere. Almost everyone was doing it. Go to all other places, all other markets in this state. But today it is difficult to move in the riverine areas. So as someone who wants to be president, it will be nice for you to hear this, that we do not feel as comfortable as we used to feel these days. And as a matter of fact, what we know as part of the responsibilities of a government is to exercise that monopoly of violence, of the use of violence. Today, it doesn't seem like the federal government is exerting that monopoly. Because if you listen to the news, you see pockets of people who are monopolizing, people or groups monopolizing violence all over the place, and as if they are telling the government what to do, instead of the government telling them what to do. Like I said, your pedigree, your profile says a lot, and that is one thing that you need to do. You have said you are also going to handle the economy? Yes. So if we have security and we have the economy, you have done it all. Once those two things are taken care of, you've done it all. It will mean that everyone will have some portion of what he is supposed to have as a citizen of this country. So we are very hopeful that that will also happen. Now, because you are here, you are from here, however, you don't want to be governor of Rivers State or Bayelsa State. It is the president of Nigeria. And even your entourage says it. You have everybody from everywhere else in this country. The heavy and the mighty and those who know what is happening are all here. And so it will be nice for you to know a little bit of us. It will be the greatest service that you are here today. And because I assume that His Excellency Rotimi Amaechi knows it, I don't tell you what it is. I will tell you. And very quickly too. And what I will say is that Bayelsa State is where oil and gas was first struck at commercial quantity. Bayelsa State. And when it happened, we are all enthusiastic, we are all hopeful that our lives will change for the better. Unfortunately, it is almost 70 years, and our lives have not changed for the better to the degree that we expected. If you compare our skins to the skins of oil company workers, you will know what I'm talking about. They have glistening, glossy, shiny skins, and we have this roughened by the weather, roughened by crude oil, roughened by oil pollution type of skins. And I don't think that is good enough. They are also working in the oil environment. How come their own skin shines and mine does not shine? It means that there's something they are doing for themselves that they're not doing to us. Then they drink milk, we need to drink milk. Then they drink swan water, we need to drink swan water. Then they wear safety gadgets, we need to wear safety gadgets. They need to even touch crude oil. We would bath crude oil. And then they pollute us. So I thought this has to be mentioned. Now in the last 70 years, from the statistics we have sold crude oil that is in the range of about $3 trillion US. If you multiply that figure by the current exchange rate, all of you will run away from this room. That is the amount of money that crude oil has been sold for. However, the same statistics say that about 1 trillion was outrightly stolen. That 1 trillion did not come and be part of our economy. It is stashed away abroad. Of course, you are aware that even last week, some of such money still came into the country. Now, 1 trillion removed from our economy completely, for me, is the reason why we have Boko Haram. Is the reason why we have bandits. Is the reason why we have unknown gunmen. Is the reason why we have kidnappers. Is the reason why we have the Niger Delta militants. Is the reason why you have the heat that you feel in this country. That is the root cause. Unfortunately, most security experts tend to look at the symptoms instead of the root cause. Because of oil, the textiles in Kano disappeared. Those in Kaduna disappeared. The industries in the west and north and everywhere disappeared. Agriculture became comatose. Everybody was going for the petrodollar. And for those of us from here, it is even more annoying that none of these kings here, who are all leaders of kingdoms, have an oil block. All our kingdoms are other people's oil blocks in this country. That is grossly unfair, and that is why there is no peace. Peace comes with fairness, and once you are fair, life will go on. In the 70s, the world was fair, life was going on. In the 80s, it was fair, it was going on somehow relatively. In the 90s, the heat started coming because people started getting aware that they are shortchanged. For someone like me, this is the most uncomfortable thing to know that my kingdom is part of OML 28 that belongs to a business enclave that does not even know me. And I didn't know that on time until recently. That is the worst form of injustice that I thought, even though you know, you have to be told again because I believe that some of these persons in entourage do not know. Now, so if you know all of these, then I think that once you are just all over the world, even if you kill people, and you are now honestly repentant, people will be ready to give you what they call a pardon, to give you a second chance. The Nigerian situation that I've just explained in brief is delegated abroad or from abroad. Of course, there is no stolen crude apart from the little, which is like 1 or 2 teaspoons that are used for what they call illegal refinery. Shiploads from the Gulf of Guinea leave our shores all the time. And when they say an ocean liner not be flamboyant now. Ocean liners are big, bigger than the whole of these premises. Some take 2 million barrels of crude oil, one ocean line. So you bring it to keep at the Gulf of Guinea. You take time to fill it up, but illegally also you fill it up and fill it up and fill it up. And then you ship it from here to England. And you don't tell me, will you tell me that those in England do not know? They know. But because it is cheap stolen fuel, they prefer to look the other way and have us impoverished. These are facts that I thought a presidential aspirant that already knows should know again. Having said that, the environmental pollution and the gas pollution, you know very well, it has affected our livelihood. So we are personification of people who are broke. We want to say this on balance, we are we are broke guys, for short. And we ought not to. We cannot be so wealthy and then be living as paupers. It is injustice. It is not right. And as you know, if you do not allow for justice, then I can bet you that you won't sleep well. And the reason why Nigerians are not sleeping well is because of injustice. So my presidential hopeful, I want to say that you should factor all of these, and you enter at 2. I believe there are some researchers who will verify some of these things I've said. In fact, let me say a little more before I end. Last year, the amount of stolen crude from native sources is $3 billion. The year before last, amount of stolen crude, $2.77 billion. Projected crude that will be stolen this year from native, $6 billion, multiplied by exchange rate, and you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you go around River State, which is your state, you go around Bayelsa State, you go around Delta State, you go around the 9 Delta states, you will not see these figures that I just mentioned. Which means they are not stolen by us. That's what I'm trying to establish. So they are stolen, but we have the bad name of where are the militants, where are the bunkerers, where are the profile people, where are the everything. But the truth is, we are not. And I thought that a powerful delegation such as this should get this. And if you factor this in, I believe it will make a lot of difference. I have spoken for a while. I have introduced it. I have told you who we are. You have said very well that, yes, the kings will be taken care of. Senator, okay, no, House of Reps, okay, Honorable, Right Honorable Ndume addressed us as highnesses. So Senator Ndume, okay, good, addressed us as highnesses. And I excuse him because, you know, from where he comes from, it is mixed up. But you came and said you know what to do, and then you've done the right thing through. But I thought I should mention that as well. That the persons here are actually majesties. No, it's fine. Majesties, the highnesses are not here today. You know, they're somewhere back home. But it's fine. So you are going to take care of us, and we're optimistic because to just have traditional rulers in the constitution just like that, just a mention without anything else attached to it, may just be part of the reason why some of these things are not in place. So the constitutional role perhaps may just be okay. More so, they are the closest to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So why not? As a matter of fact, most times it is when the government establishments fail that they now come to us and say, hey, I will do this before they cause us trouble now. I will take solve them now. And then most of the time we solve it. We solve it. So I want to thank you a lot and also urge you to consider that there are a lot of lacunas. For example, online we have the road safety. In the river, we don't have river and safety. When they buy Hilux vehicles for the police on land, they hardly do something equivalent for the river. When they construct roads on land, there is no plan for the river. And of course, you know that it was just 2 months ago that the road that was earmarked about 60 years ago, they commenced construction here. So we have a lot of failed and broken promises, in spite of the fact that most of the monies we use come from here. So on this note, to close, and to thank you so much and wish you the best of luck and expect you back. When I say expect you back, you know what it means. I'm expecting you back here in the next couple of weeks. Says it all, that you have been prayed for. If he does not come back, Lieutenant General, I will call you. Yes. If he doesn't come back, Senator, I will call you. Because he can't do it alone. It will be all of you ensuring that he comes back here again for the full campaign.
The highly respected son of that matter, you're welcome, Your Excellency, and welcome to Bayelsa State.
I'm happy to receive you here because at the beginning of the formation of APC, you were here. When Bayelsa State was having challenges, as governor, you were there for the Bayelsa State APC. And that is why we are here happily welcoming you to Bayelsa State. Now, the objective of this meeting is for you to interact with the statutory delegates. And that's why they are all seated to listen to you. I will say you don't need to campaign to the delegates, the Bayelsa State statutory delegates. Because you know your record as two-time Speaker of the Rivers State Council of Assembly. We know your record as the two-time Governor of Rivers State. And we also know your record as a two-time Minister of Transportation in our APC government. In a live radio broadcast about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was asked a question, what has Buhari done? And I said, since 1960 till now, Buhari has performed better than any other president in the area of infrastructure development. And one of those infrastructure development is the railways, which you have done well. So, Your Excellency, I will not bore you with much speech, but to say you are welcome. Noah, Ado, thank you and God bless you.
And he said, this is our home. We were the palace of His Royal Majesty, where we had all the Royal Majesties. They also confirmed to us. And I said that we are the visitors, but our candidate is at home. So we just follow him to his home. Not only that, I want to ask the government to move on this side, please, because I want to have the focus on the you know, and we know, and I was watching, as far there is in Borgo, that he won that election. He is the governor elect. He won the election. And they came up with funny thing. They say he's right. That's the Nigerian system for you. But we believe, as his name is David. I'm a Muslim, but I know David defeated who? He defeated him. Because he is not only David, he is David the lion. everybody should vote this time. Because now, I want to hear again, those in favor say aye.
Because I don't need to campaign here, do I?
Yes. No.
I was a product of Paraguay Secondary School, right? Paraguay Grammar School. But then, what Paraguay Grammar School was government secondary school, when we were there. So I know when someone was hitting our boss, I say, Abi, don't go there, don't go there. I'm sure he didn't know I can say that, right? What's happening? Don't go there, Abi, take time, bro. Take your time. So I'm completely a Bayelsa. If you go to Rivers State, I'm the first person among the leadership of Rivers State to say, allow the Riverine to produce the governor in Rivers State. That is what is called fairness. In fact, I also told Rivers State, I don't need to bring the candidate. You can bring anybody. Let the person come from, and I still say it tomorrow. Let all the parties in Rivers State produce a Riverine candidate, so that whoever wins, we know that Riverine has been given an opportunity to govern. Because I know the challenges. In fact, it's worse in Bayelsa. You are more Delta. I don't know whether you're more Delta. I think you're more Delta than Rivers. Because, than Rivers. Yeah, because you're very peculiar. You can't do a road here without going up. And the moment you go up, the moment you Sanfi, what happens to go down? Flood, right? It's everywhere. So you need a proper intervention of the federal government to survive here. You know, 1 billion naira to build a road in Rivers State. You need 2 billion for a kilometer. You need 2 billion naira to build a road in Bayelsa. That 1 billion naira will give you 10 kilometers of road in the north. So when they see you, they say, you're a thief, you're a thief. They should come and see what the challenges we face in doing the infrastructure in the south-south. It's a big challenge. So I understand all that. I may not agree with those who do bunkering. I don't agree with you. The reason is that we're not the poorest people in the world. But I agree that we are poor and that the state needs to address us because we are poor. And we shouldn't be poor in an environment of wealth. Right? Yes. I also agree that the way NDC is currently being handled is not the way it should be handled. I agree that the Minister for Niger Delta Development Commission should please appoint a board and a substantive. We will address those challenges that you face. You don't need to whisper to me, I know. I live here, I passed through here to get my university degree, and I know, I won't say all of you, but I know most of you. In fact, this is one place outside River State that I did not say, how are you, sir? Oh, boy, how now? Because I knew you as a boy, right? But if I don't know you as somebody who is either my age mate or my friend, I will say, good afternoon, sir. Because I don't know whether you're older or you're holding a more important position. But I know literally all of you. I was calling you people by name. And I assure you that if we win, you will be part of the government and we will address what the issues are. Even the funds, when we are coming, we look at the funds. Ecological funds will be enough to even address this flooding you have in Bayelsa. But all we need to do is be careful. Be careful because people will come and buy your votes. Don't sell. You should ask me what I mean by don't sell. Take their money because it's illegal to offer you money. When you take their money, vote your conscience and allow that conscience on me. And I assure you God will bless you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.